Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of June 28th through July 4th. And we have a waxing gibbous that moves us into the full moon on the 30th. So sometimes you can feel that energy a day before, during, and also after. But a full moon, of course, is a time of heightened senses and emotions. We might feel overwhelmed and anxious, maybe a little bit irritable, or have changes in your sleeping pattern. So see it as a way to release any resentment or fears that you may have, and also as a way to practice patience and calm. So I have the opposite end of that. I'm very positive and very energetic on the full moon, almost maybe a little crazy, so maybe a little manic, but I get a lot done in a positive, good way. So anyway, we then move into the waning gibbous energy, and that is a calmer time, excuse me, of self-reflection and rebirth. A good time for us to make positive changes and to get rid of our bad habits and negative thinking. So, let the full moon take all of those negativities away and just move into that more calm energy afterwards. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Taurus. So as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't here on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is you're very close to achieving your goal. All right, let's see what the Taurus Collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you pay attention to the universe when it comes to synchronicity. So, many times when we have the full moon, it does shine some light on some things, and a synchronicity could be just maybe a song that comes on the radio that has something to do with your current situation. It could be a conversation that you overhear. It could be a book that falls into your lap just at the time that you need it. But it's usually information that you're seeking, and it's right in front of you if you open your eyes. So that is my fun weekly reminder, is that you try to open your eyes to the synchronistic universe a little bit more than usual this week. So, all right, let's get into this reading. Taurus, June 28th through July 4th. You're very close to achieving your goal. Your overall present energy, 7 of Wands. So you're kind of feeling like you against the world. And if you are, sometimes we do feel like that when we're about to achieve something. It's like you're just working away. You just feel like, and it's just you, and you're just you alone, and you've got, whatever. So that's kind of that feeling. So keep plugging away, whatever it is, hold your ground there. Even if other people disagree with you, it looks like you're very close to achieving something that you've been wanting to. You may kind of feel a pushback a little bit from the universe, but keep at it. Is really what that card is saying. Your current situation is the Hanged Man. So as you are achieving this goal, you've definitely stumbled across some things that have given you a different perspective on things, and you are looking at things through a different set of eyes. So I want you to imagine when you first set this goal, where you were and where you are now, and how your attitude has changed and what you've learned along the way. I mean, that's really what the hangman is about. It's about looking at things through a different lens of glasses. And many times that's because we've learned things, and you're not the same person. Once we set a goal, work on that goal and achieve that goal, you're a different person at the end of it. And that is really what that card is indicative of there. At the root of your situation is the Justice card. So some sort of truth that maybe you've been facing, and that's why this goal setting, this could be personal goals that you've had for yourself. This could be some sort of maybe exercise journey that you've been on, like a weight loss journey or a fitness journey, or just getting healthier. It could be something like that, some personal thing. It could be something at work, something where you've decided to make some sort of career change. You're just changing direction, but some sort of truth has come to mind, maybe about, your eyes have opened about how you're living your life day to day, and you make some sort of decision and change in that way. And that's why the goal setting, and you're so close. So keep it up. Don't quit yet, right? In your recent past here is the Moon card. So this could have been some sort of intuitive reason. We were just talking about synchronicity, and sometimes those things come to us, and there they are. It's like you're not even sure why. If you have Sometimes we get those just intuitive feelings like, oh, I need to do this, and this, you do it. So you set a goal and you go ahead and do it. So again, I'm reminding you this week to pay attention to that. It looks like you might have already had something like that come about, where you just intuitively felt like you should change a thing. And so you set a goal and you've gone about it. So that's great. What is on your mind this week is, yeah, something that you are mentally done with. And this could be, again, it's very, that the hanged man, it could have just changed your mind. You just, if your mindset, I see the swords because it's air energy. So it's definitely like kind of like the end of a way of thinking. And if you set a goal and you go through and you move through and you learn things, it is a change in your perspective, and it is a definite change in the way of your thinking. That's how we learn and grow. You decide, oh, I thought I knew this, and now I've been through this experience and I didn't know anything. I'm going to stop thinking that way and move to this different way of thinking. What is just ahead of you this week is the Queen of Cups. So, very balanced emotions as you go through this, and very understanding of your own emotions, of your own, your motivations, the reason you react the way you do. When it comes to this particular topic, and it could just be in general as well, but also because it's the Queen, it's not only understanding yourself and on a deeper level, but also the people around you. So anytime again that you have your eyes open and your eyes change to something, to a perspective change like this, it makes you more empathetic to people that are maybe in the situation that you previously were. If they're a little stuck on something, and now you've been there, so you're more empathetic to people about it, and you can be there to at least be a kind, even if it's just someone for someone to have to listen to, for someone to tell you, where they are, and you can either advise them or not, but sometimes it's just nice to have someone who's been there, that's there to listen, right? In your advice position is Page of Swords. So now that we're getting rid of this old way of thinking and communicating, now here comes the page. And that, anytime you have a 10, that's an ending of something. And if it's the end of a way of thinking, now you're going to adopt a new way of thinking. And a new way of communicating. And that, what this page is all about, is about, okay, the old me, that's gone, but now I'm going to communicate this way. I'm going to say these things. I'm going to think these things. It's like an attitude adjustment. So that's the advice, is to really do that, to really take all of these things to heart, what you have learned recently when it comes to this goal, and change who you are because of it. What is beyond your control this week is, yeah, moving towards the future with new thoughts, new ideas, new attitudes, very calmly. This water is very calm, and take the things that you've learned into that future with you. And look, you're heading towards these new swords, just like this page is saying. There's a new way of thinking, a new attitude, and I love that. That makes me smile. That's very fun. What is beyond your control, or I'm sorry, what is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid this week, is the Three of Wands here. So it's either your secret desire to enter into new ventures, or you're trying to avoid that right now. You might just want to be status quo and stay where you are and get these things, get this goal accomplished, whatever it is for you. To understand this new perspective, to really let yourself settle into being this new person, in whatever way this has come about for you. And it might, for some of you, it might lead to, yeah, okay, that because of that, it's time for new ventures, and maybe even time to travel a little bit. Or for some of you, it's going to be, I'm going to avoid that right now. Let me just get into this new way of being. So there's no right or wrong answer there. Just understand your own answer when you answer it for yourself, right? In your outcome position is the Six of Pentacles. So the outcome here is feeling a little bit like an outsider. This could be, I'm thinking about this card here, is because you're trying to achieve a goal. You don't always fit in. You don't always, not everyone understands exactly why you're doing things the way you're doing them. And sometimes it's hard to explain to everybody, and you really don't need to, frankly. But if you're kind of setting a goal, you might have people that are like, oh, well, look at you trying to be this. Sometimes you get that feeling. And just again, that's that pushback that you feel from the world. But if you have goals in mind and things that you want to accomplish, you go ahead and set your head straight and do it. I don't know who's going to stop you. Taurus, you guys are very stubborn anyway. Once you set your mind to a thing, you do accomplish it. So um you know this isn't your first rodeo when it comes to that kind of pushback or feeling like an outsider because you have a direction to go and you're determined to get there. So just brush it off. It's in your outcome. I mean, just you've got a little heads up here that may be coming for you this week, but again, you just have to brush that off. What is hidden from you this week is the 10 of cups. So we've got this ending, but we're not quite at our happy ending yet, because you're still working through this. You're still trying to achieve this goal. You're still working at it. So you're not quite there yet, and that's okay. Tarot readings happen for a week, but life certainly doesn't happen in a week. So sometimes we're working at things and it's long term. This could be something that takes months to unfold. But it's something that you're working at, and you'll get to this happy ending when it comes to this particular topic, I'm sure. And I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's different for all of you, but I understand how that goes. All right, let's get you a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Accept what is. So it is what it is, right? And that's especially these two cards and I'm not saying these are negative cards, these two, but they're pushback cards. They're pushbacks. This is kind of a pushback from the world. And this to me, I feel like is a pushback internally. It's where you feel like a certain way, you feel like an outsider, even though you might not be. And even though you might be, because you do things a little differently. This one is kind of pushback from other people. Sometimes you do have to just accept that that's who those people are. That's where they are right now. They don't understand you, and there's really not a big need unless you feel the need to really sit them down and explain yourself. But for some people, and I mean, that's fine when it comes to friends and family. If it's work related or people, strangers, whatever, right? All right, let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Self-care for Taurus this week. And the card for you is the same one I just had for Aries. So this might be a theme for all of us here this week. Stop trying to please everyone. Everyone is a whole lot of people. Protect your energy. Yeah. I'm going to go back again. Accept what is. Stop trying to please everyone. Everyone is a whole lot of people, and you can't do it. You've just got to do the thing that set your own goals, do your own things, and let the cards fall. It's sometimes we overthink things, so don't overthink it. Taurus, thank you so much for being here. I hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing, drop me a comment down below and let me know. Just what you're going through right now. We can compare notes with other Taurus people, and I think that might be interesting. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe really helps my channel. I appreciate that so much. If you've already done it, thank you so much. And if you're about to, thank you in advance. So, Taurus, good luck with all of this, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.